Hello class, today we're going to be learning about Social Studies Lesson 7, Why Do Families Move? So basically it's about why families move from one community to another community. Today we're going to learn about why families move or migrate to new communities. So the word migrate means to move to a new community. There are three different communities we've talked about this whole unit. We've talked about an urban community, which is a city where there's a lot of buildings, there's a lot of stuff to do, there's transportation. Then there's a suburban community where you'll have a bigger house, you'll have a big backyard, you'll have parks and all kinds of things like that. And in a rural community, there's less people, more open space, animals. It's just more of a quieter life. So let's think about why someone would move out of an urban community. So you might live in an urban community and there might be so many people and you live in a small apartment. Now let's say a couple, a mommy and daddy, have kids and they need more space. They might think of moving to a suburban community where there's bigger homes, where there's a backyard. Then you might also consider maybe moving to a rural community. Maybe you want a lot of space. Maybe it doesn't matter. You don't need to be close to transportation to work. So these are options. Maybe you might live in a suburban community and you might want to be closer to transportation and you might want to be near Broadway shows and restaurants and all kinds of action, and you might move back to an urban community. So people move for all different kinds of reasons, but those are some main reasons right there. We're going to read this book and see how Mr. and Mrs. Mallard are looking for a new home because their needs have changed. So they're going to be moving to a different community. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard, first, they're just together and they don't have ducklings. So watch the community they live in and let's think about the community that they could move to after they have their little ducklings. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were looking for a place to live, but every time Mr. Mallard saw what looked like a nice place, Mrs. Mallard said it was no good. There were sure to be foxes in the woods or turtles in the water, and she was not going to raise a family where there might be foxes or turtles, so they flew on and on. When they got to Boston, they felt too tired to fly any further. There was a nice pond in the public garden with a little island on it. The very place to spend the night, quacked Mr. Mallard, so down they flapped. Now, boys and girls, Boston is a busy city, so let's see how that works out. Next morning, they fished for their breakfast in the mud at the bottom of the pond, but they didn't find much. Just as they were getting ready to start on their way, a strange, enormous bird came by. It was pushing a boat full of people, and there was a man sitting on its back. "Good morning," quacked Mr. Mallard, being polite. The big bird was too proud to answer, but the people on the boat threw peanuts into the water, so the Mallards followed them all around the pond and got another breakfast better than the first. "I like this place," said Mrs. Mallard as they climbed on the bank and waddled along. "Why don't we build a nest and raise our ducklings near the pond? There are no foxes and no turtles, and the people feed us peanuts. What could be better?" "Good," said Mr. Mallard, delighted that at last Mrs. Mallard had found a place that suited her. "But—" "Look out!" squawked Mrs. Mallard, all but dither. "You'll get run over." And when she got her breath, she added, "This is no place for babies with all these horrid things rushing about. We have to look somewhere else." So they flew over Beacon Hill and round the State House, but there was no place there. They looked in Loudsburg Square, but there was no water to swim in. Then they flew over Charles River. "This is better," quacked Mr. Mallard. "The island looks like nice and quiet. And it's only a little away from the public garden." "Yes," said Mrs. Mallard, remembering the peanuts. "That looks like just the right place to hatch ducklings." So they chose a cozy spot among the bushes near the water and settled down to build their nest. And only just in time, for now they were beginning to molt, and their old wing feathers started to drop out, and they would not be able to fly again until the new ones grew in. But of course they could swim, and one day they swam over to the park on the river bank, and where they met a policeman called Michael. Michael fed them peanuts, and after that the Mallards called on Michael every day. After Mrs. Mallard had laid 8 eggs in the nest, she couldn't go to visit Michael anymore because she had to sit on her eggs to keep them warm. She moved off the nest only to get a drink of water or to have her lunch or to count the eggs and make sure they were all there. One day the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, then Cack, then Lack and Mack and Knack and Quack and Pack and Quack. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were bursting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings, and it kept them very busy. One day, Mr. Mallard decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like further on. So off he set. "I'll meet you in a week in the public garden," he quacked over his shoulder. "Take good care of the ducklings." "Don't you worry," said Mrs. Mallard. "I know all about bringing up children." And she did. She taught them how to swim and dive. She taught them to walk in a line, to come where they were called, and keep a distance from bikes and scooters and other things with wheels. When at last she felt perfectly safe with them, she said one morning, "Come along, children, follow me." Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Quack, Pack, and Quack fell into line just as they had been taught. Mrs. Mallard led the way into the water, and they swam behind her to the opposite bank. There they waded ashore and waddled along till they came to a highway. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. "Honk, honk!" went the horns and the speeding cars. "Quack!" went Mrs. Mallard, and she tumbled back again. "Quack, quack, quack, quack!" went Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Quack, Pack, and Quack, just as loud as their little quackers could quack. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Mrs. Mallard and the ducklings kept right on quack, quack, quacking. They made such a noise that Michael came running, waving his arms and blowing his whistle. He planted himself in the center of the road, raised one hand to stop the traffic, and then beckoned with the other, the way policemen do for Mrs. Mallard to cross over. Okay, boys and girls, we're not going to finish the book. We're going to make a prediction. Where do you think they should move? We already know that they really cannot live in an urban community. It's not a good idea for them because there is too much traffic, there are too many cars, there's bikers. It's just a big mess, and it's not safe for their ducklings. But the nice thing about the urban community was that it was near water. So maybe they need to move somewhere where there's like a beach or somewhere where there's a pond. So I'm wondering, maybe a suburban community might not be a bad idea. There's more open spaces, there's beaches, there's ponds. Maybe they could move there. Or maybe they can move to a rural community. There's a lot of lakes. There's all kinds of things going on in a rural community too. Wide open spaces, not many cars at all. So these are all things that we could think about in these communities. So now, boys and girls, now it's time for you to think about what you're going to write about here. So Mr. and Mrs. Mallard should move to a blank community because, so I'm just going to model it and show you what I think might be a good idea. You could use a different idea. You don't have to use my idea. So I'm going to say Mr. and Mrs. Mallard should move to, I'm thinking a suburban community. And I'm thinking a suburban community because there are wide open spaces, backyards, and there is water such as beaches and ponds for the ducks to live in. There isn't much traffic, so the ducks will be safe. Okay, let me see how this looks. Let me make it a little smaller so I can read it, and you guys tell me what you think. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard should move to a suburban community because of the wide open space, backyards, and there is water, such as beaches and ponds for the ducks to live in. There isn't much traffic, so the ducks will be safe. So what do you think about that? Does that make sense to you, boys and girls? Okay, you could choose that. You could also choose, like I said, a different community. So I want you guys to go and write this on your own. So that was just a model. So you can do the same thing. I'm going to take this off. You're not going to pick suburban. You're going to pick a different community, or you could pick suburban and pick different reasons, or you can use similar reasons. And that is your job right now. So good luck, and I can't wait to see what you did. Thanks.